I have my friend Dharti Desai who's volunteered to lend her voice to read Pisces Woman with us. Thank you, Dharti, for doing this.
Totally my pleasure.
Uh, Dharti, there were places while you were trying to read, not trying to, when you did read this chapter where I could hear you taking big gulps, you were like emotional, and there were situations where you were like, I could sense that there must be some sort of not necessarily a tear rolling down your hair, but somewhere you felt like, oh shit, this is where I got caught. Were there any specific moments that you remember while reading that you want to talk about and share?
Absolutely. I think I've read the book before, but reading it aloud today was very, I don't want to use the word gut-wrenching because that seems a little extreme, but it was soul-searching for sure. It was very insightful. And I'm amazed at how well you have studied the Piscean woman.
12 sun signs into 24 people. And I got the Pisces woman right.
Yes,
okay.
you did.
There are places where, I've talked about her being Barbie-like, crystal figure-like. Do you see yourself like that, or your friends tell you you're like that delicate kind of darling who needs attention seeking?
I don't see myself that way, but yes, I have had those kinds of comments from friends. Barbie-like, snob, oh, you don't mingle with, the ordinary people. Yes, I have, and I still do. I continue to hear that.
And you maintain that you are not like that?
Yes.
Okay. It's a very convenient way of living, how we live, how we see ourselves versus how others see us. And we wonder, rather I often wonder what is right, whether the way we look at ourselves or the way the world looks at us.
I think it's a combination, That's why we say perception is never reality, right? And reality is.
But we would always want to think that we are nice, we are always nice. And I'm not a snob, and, I admit I'm a snob. So let me just go on record and say that I'm accessible, I'm friendly, I'm warm, but I'm not necessarily here to make friends with everyone. That's how I've said.
But I was just going to say that, even if someone says I'm Barbie-like or if I'm a snob, I don't take it as an insult. Even though I know that sometimes they do mean it slightly negatively, I never take it as an insult. I actually take it as a compliment.
So are you ultra-feminine?
I'm extremely feminine, yes.
I know you,
sure.
so yes, you
yes,
are.
you know that about me.
Absolutely. That's what I've kept saying all over the book, that, she can be easily submissive and she can let the man dominate. I could, hear every third, fourth paragraph had that kind of hints within that, to describe the Pisces woman as submissive, easygoing, but yet somewhere it is assertive, don't mess with me kind of thing. So what kind of a person are you?
I think you hit it on, you hit the nail on the head when you said submissive after. A Piscean woman is never submissive right away. It takes her time to become submissive.
True.
Once she sees, I guess what she's searching for.
Right.
And I can relate to so much in here. Probably 90% of what you've written is very true.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Dharti, I know in my book somewhere I have made Pisces woman one and Leo woman the other, the two sun signs, to be quite materialistic. Of course, you're a Pisces and you can speak for yourself, maybe not for the entire clan, but what would you say, to that?
Completely materialistic.
Ouch. But not in a sick, dirty way where you say that one would get into or do anything to get.
Absolutely not. Yet having the balls to go and do it myself,
yeah,
and I have.
You're self-made.
I'm self-made.
Almost.
Yes.
Yeah.
And never compromising on what you just correctly said.
Exactly.
Like going to any, lengths to even go to trample somebody. Never.
Because being materialistic is all right. I just feel that the way the
One
world would look at it when
Yes.
you say I'm a materialistic girl, like how Madonna went on record and said that, it makes you sound kind of, that you'll do anything to get there. Whether it is a man or a woman. When I say anything, there is no tongue-in-cheek here. I mean, one could, get into being a thief, a smuggler or whatever else.
Absolutely,
and, do stuff and to get there, to achieve that. But it is nice that you can go on record and be honest and say that that you are not bereft of being materialistic, but you are materialistic.
Absolutely, exactly. And that doesn't preclude, it doesn't, prove the fact that just because you're materialistic, A, you'll do anything to achieve your
Right,
goals, materialistic
right.
goals, and B, that you don't have an emotional side. Clearly, from the Pisces reading, your observations, my own life, Pisceans are extremely emotional. We do have an emotional connect, and so sometimes achieving materialistic pleasures doesn't mean that we are not charitable.
Absolutely. Just coming to that
Yeah,
second point was
that's-
compassion and spirituality,
which
which
is
I
very
mentioned a
high
couple of
in
places.
Pisces women, yeah, or at least that's been my life.
I know I'm still under debt of your, goodness and kindness of sponsoring my parties.
Any
my-
relationship is a two-way street.
my book launch party with your wines.
It's been a pleasure, and
Yeah.
nothing better than
So
being with like-minded people.
For the Taurus man, it seems that the way to the heart is through food, and for the Aries man, it is through
wine. There you go.
Thank you, Dhanati, for doing this again.
It was
Cheers.
wonderful being here. Thank you,
you.
and I enjoyed myself totally.
Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.
Thanks.
Pisces, 20th February to 20th March. Pisces woman. Ever met a woman who looks at you with eyes that search your very soul? And when she looks away, you can make out that she's glancing around the room, looking for Mr. Perfect? She could well be a Pisces woman. Always on the lookout for something, Piscean females constantly have a "I'm looking for someone or something" gaze in their deep pocket eyes. The zodiac has been assigned the sign of fishes. There is a possibility that there is something fishy about 1 out of every 3 Piscean women. A heart filled with desires and eyes that yearn for their fulfillment, a Pisces woman goes much deeper than her appearance. Although the term ulterior motive has a negative edge to it, it fits her aptly. Her motive is not necessarily bad, but she is always looking for its completion. Piscean women can be equally divided into 2 camps. Firstly, the ones with hearts overflowing with materialistic desires, and secondly, the ones who are soul-searching or looking for soulmates. How can you identify a Piscean woman in a crowd? Ever seen those delicately designed crystal figures at display windows throwing a spectrum of light? That's how a Piscean will appear at first glance to an onlooker, as if she's made of glass. She will seem as fragile and brittle as crystal, not to mention as exclusive and expensive too. In a social setting, it is not difficult to spot her. If you're fairly observant, you will notice a Piscean woman to be totally feminine. She will laugh gracefully at the loudest of wisecracks. She will hold her drink with delicacy and eat with the propriety of British royalty. And if you still can't make up your mind if the girl next to you is a Piscean or not, just wait till you're invited to take your seat at the dinner table. If she waits for you to pull up her chair, rest assured she's a Piscean. The true lady will always expect men around her to behave in the most gentlemanly way possible. With conversations, she will let other members of the group, especially males, dominate the discussion. While she will not shy away from voicing her opinion, she'll be more comfortable listening to others. But whether she's speaking her mind or lending an eager ear to others, she will do so with utmost elegance and grace. What are the key features of her personality? The materialistic kind of Piscean woman is aggressive, albeit gracefully. She's caring and loving, although a little sly. She's extremely impulsive, but her impulsiveness is governed by self-made standards, and she upholds these criteria with utmost tenacity. She's so focused on attaining her goals that she's likely to risk or entirely give up a relationship if someone more powerful, richer, or charming comes along. To put it differently, she understands her materialistic desires and knows how to get her priorities right. She's not one to back a loser, no matter how much love is lost in the process. The other kind of Piscean female is looking for compatibility rather than material comfort. Not to say that she's above material desires, but her ultimate aim is to be with someone whom she can call a soulmate. This kind is more emotional and submissive. There's something Barbie-like about her, endearing, naughty, yet elegant. She can carry off even a regular outfit like a pair of blue jeans and white tees with finesse. Given her passion for dressing up, she can be a big tease too, and this holds true for both kinds of Piscean women. I've often found her an odd mix of modern and traditional. While she may be dressed in the latest fad doing the rounds of her college campus, she will appear extremely withdrawn when it comes to talking with strangers. There's a certain vulnerability about her which makes her attractive as well as mysterious. If you're a protective and caring kind of a man, she's the woman for you. Her mind at times works like the two fishes in her zodiac symbol. You can't make out at a glance which way she's headed. She can talk of the past and future in one breath and be equally emphatic about both. This is one reason why she's able to adjust herself with different people and situations. How is she on the following aspects? Appearance. Here's one woman who knows how to dress, nay, dares to dress as she likes. Both kinds of Piscean women are always well-dressed in an utmost feminine manner. She'll be as comfortable in flowing dresses as in skimpy outfits, and will have no qualms about a little cleavage display or wearing a bareback style top. In her private space, she's more likely to be in the flimsiest of lingerie. Some have a prominent jawline, while some have a fuller face, could be because of her obsession for chocolates and pastries. Ambition. A good number of Piscean women are overly ambitious. This tendency may arise from their love for materialistic pleasures or an urge to create their mark. Their determination to achieve their ambition is not just steady but downright tenacious. A determined Piscean woman will work relentlessly towards her goal. She's not one to shy away from hard work. But such stubborn resolve can make her take alternative paths too, like marrying a rich man. One way she takes to achieve this is by meeting the right people at the right time. She has no misgivings about using people to forward her cause. But then again, all of them are not like this. There are Piscean women who are not that ambitious. This is the emotional kind who's content with her life and falls beautifully in her role as a homemaker. Since she's also sensitive, she's likely to follow creative pursuits such as pottery and fashion designing. But this is no comment on her ability to make a career for herself. She's competitive enough to be successful in professional circles. Ego, self-respect. Piscean women, both kinds, have an innate sense of pride. This will be reflected in her demeanor and her facial features, usually quite beautiful. Mostly you'll find her to be well-groomed and well-poised on all occasions. I have seen Piscean girls learning to carry themselves with grace from an early age and thereby commanding respect from others. But don't let her behavior make you believe she has an ego. She can be full of it with people she wants to keep at bay. Since she's moody, her ego moves alongside her moods. Responsibility. A Piscean woman scores low on this count to begin with, but as she grows, her sense of responsibility increases. But you cannot depend on this. Since she's impulsive and adventurous, she can conveniently let go of her duties as and when she pleases. Etiquettes. A Piscean woman is a true lady. She effortlessly bags a 9 on a scale of 10 for etiquettes. Her social etiquettes are displayed at best when as a host, wherein she is both gracious and graceful. She is detailed in her planning and execution of every aspect of playing the perfect host. What is her approach towards life? The Piscean female is a blend of feelings and emotions ranging from being oversensitive to metamorphosing into a goal-crazed woman. Her attitude in life is driven by her state of heart and mind. Unwavering dedication and perseverance are critical to her cause, and she works relentlessly towards achieving what she sets her heart on, sacrificing anything that she feels is redundant or a blockade of sorts. Somewhat of a dreamer, the Piscean woman is successfully able to convert all her dreams into reality with the aid of her steadfast willpower and cunning. How does she score on the following points? Cynicism. The majority of Piscean females are wacky and are governed by their current emotions. Whichever way her mood swings, her thoughts go. When not in her element, she can remain brooding over things for long. I may as well call this trait cynicism rather than sensitivity. Suspicion, jealousy. Her cynicism will take her to the next step, that of suspicion. Most Piscean women tend to be generally suspicious. while the rest can also be if given appropriate reason. However, once she grows suspicious, the Piscean will go to the length of stalking or following her man to confirm her suspicions. Like with her ambition, she is relentless here too. Jealousy too is an overpowering emotion with Piscean women. Almost all of them are prone to this emotion, but they know where to draw a line. Dishonesty, infidelity. Most Piscean women can take dishonesty or infidelity a little calmly. Their show of tolerance is not surprising, as they themselves are not above fantasizing about such digressions. Hardships. Desiring prosperity, a Piscean woman, especially the materialistic kind, finds it difficult to face hard times. One reason could be that after overcoming her ordeals, even if she emerges a winner, she gets emotionally drained. In the long run, this will make her become more and more dependent on her husband, partner, and family. The emotional kind can carry herself off a bit more gracefully during trying times. Success and failure. The worldly type of Piscean woman will do almost anything for success. She is relentless in her search for success, irrespective of what means she uses to achieve it. And by success I mean name, fame, and money, and all the things money can buy. The passive kind knows how to deal with success and likes to share it with her family and close friends. When it comes to failure, the Piscean lady ceases to be a lady in the real sense. She will rave and rant about it, blame everybody under the sun but herself, and crib her heart out until she wins. Guest. As she is extremely fond of good food, the first thing to ensure if you have a Piscean guest over is the menu. She likes appeasing her palate, so you better have a multi-cuisine menu and a well-stocked bar when she comes over. Host. The Piscean woman is a gracious host. She's detailed and would take interest in knowing your likes and dislikes on cuisine before you arrive. She's extremely warm and affectionate as a host and makes every guest feel at home with her warm smile and hospitality. How does she handle difficult situations? If there is one thing that a Piscean woman dreads, it's conflict. Though she somehow often finds herself in sticky situations, Pisces women avoid confrontations of any kind. If pushed and shoved into messy circumstances, she will either try to work her way out through sweet talk or take on a belligerent, stubborn stance. But only in the rarest of rare situations will you see her seething with rage or spewing expletives. What is her characteristic weakness? Surely her emotional nature. She's extremely touchy and could break into sobs at the slightest of insults or even prolonged jokes. The Piscean woman is known for her sympathetic nature, an attribute that often burdens her by the worries plaguing others around her. Stressed out by unpleasant events, this sign is vulnerable to succumbing to addictions in an attempt to drown negative thoughts. Is there more to this sensitive lady's persona? If you admire femininity in women, this lady is the perfect example of it, and a glamorous one at that. A Piscean woman has a charming personality. She knows how to entice her man. Mostly her charms are matched with her looks, which make her quite attractive, and her excellent dressing sense is nothing short of icing on the cake. It's because of her ultra-feminine nature that she seeks a strong man, both in physical strength and mental abilities. She needs a man who can stand by her in difficult times and give her a shoulder to lean on when she feels like crying. Though not weak, the Piscean girl needs constant reassurances from a stronger personality. There is absolutely nothing manlike about her, and hence tomboyish Pisceans are a rarity. She is even-tempered and good-natured when at her best. However, like everyone else, she has her black moods too. When angry, she can be quite the nag and shower a series of acrid words on her offender. But whichever mood she is in, she is undeniably womanly about it. Piscean females mature at an early age. I've seen them show a strong sense of what they want, almost to the extent of keeping a wish list handy. However, both kinds of Pisceans, be it the materialistic-minded or the spiritually inclined, are effectively subtle in their approach. They will take every step, every decision with a slow and steady mind, whether it is love, money, or work. They won't budge an inch till they are completely sure of themselves. Another important feature of the Piscean nature is the ability to conceal emotions. Being emotional and hypersensitive, a Piscean instinctively knows how vulnerable she is. She is also scared of being ridiculed by others who do not understand or value her emotions. To combat these fears, she dons a mask of inscrutability. She believes camouflaging her emotions is her only defense against the insensitive world. In a bid to hide her true feelings, she is likely to indulge in small, harmless lies or evasiveness. But I have to clarify that a Piscean woman is never consciously mean or bitter. She is always subtle and tactful, in fact with tact bordering on deception. Her deception, however, should not be taken in a negative way, as with her it's only a mechanism for protecting her sensitivity. Her emotions lie very close to the surface, and she is likely to cry at the drop of a hat. And this is where you need to have your antenna up. If a Piscean woman can cry easily, she can also use her tears as a weapon. Her sensitivity is a double-edged sword and can swing either ways, in favor of or against her. Her psyche often works like a pendulum, swinging between the two extremes of materialism and mysticism. Because of this, her mind tends to wander easily. Although she is ambitious, some Pisceans lack the right amount of self-confidence. This too makes her dependent on others. Her self-belief is at times so low you might have to fish her out of her diffidence. She needs someone around her to appreciate her qualities and talents. A Piscean woman shares quite a few things with her male counterpart, namely compassion, high emotional quotient, and spirituality. Like a Pisces male, the female too feels deep compassion for others, and hence is a good listener. If you are in trouble, you can trust your Piscean friend to support you and help you look for solutions. Since she is emotionally charged, she draws a lot of energy from her emotions. Like her counterpart, she has oceans of energy within, and all she needs to do is dive within to rejuvenate herself. Hence the essential, my time, is close to her heart. She's something of a spiritualist. Although she may get lost in the sea of real life, she is so sure to find her way out and discover mysticism within. Her compassion and spiritualism often lead her to perform acts of charity. A Piscean woman's sixth sense is as sharp as a Piscean man's. If she listens carefully to her intuition, she can make for a good crystal ball reader. But unfortunately, her sixth sense does not help her in choosing the correct life partner because she just focuses on tallying her needs versus what the guy is made of, and if all tallies, she just goes for it. How should one deal effectively with her? If you are up against the overly and overtly ambitious kind, she will be filled with eagerness to know everything about you, from which car you own to what kind of bank balance you have, albeit in a subtle way. Her material streak will stop her from looking beyond the surface. The emotional Piscean would prefer less pretentious and straightforward people around her and will easily gel with people whom she finds hardworking and sincere. If you're in love with a Piscean girl, make sure you hold her close to you. Not only does she need your emotional support, but also needs a watchful eye overseeing her wandering heart. Given her strong instincts and intuitive sense, a Piscean girl understands the art of wordless communication more than the verbal one. She prefers gestures, smiles, nods, and a cuddly hug to verbose conversations. She is quite a master at understanding body language, so when you are with her, keep your body movements in check. She will see through you much easily and much faster than you can imagine. The best way to deal with her is to understand her emotional needs, take care of her sensitivity, and give her ample personal time to rejuvenate herself. How does she handle money matters? I have seen both kinds of Piscean females to be extremely compassionate, and hence they find it difficult to argue over money. Discussing or fighting for money isn't her strong point exactly. Being emotional, she's likely to be submissive about money and given easily to a more aggressive debater. She's also bad at saving money and will have to be convinced to do so. She makes no qualms about spending on luxuries for herself since she's aware of her own needs. She's also generous with her friends. This is another reason why she finds it difficult to think about the inevitable rainy day. But you will rarely find a Piscean woman who's broke, as she has secret ways of sourcing money and keeping her head above water. How is she on the professional front? At work, she's extremely competitive, dedicated, sincere, and goal-oriented. You will find her passionate about what she does, and she will infuse her work with creativity and innovation. Her efficiency also makes her totally dependable. As far as achieving her goals is concerned, some Piscean women will gladly trample over even a close confidant if it means inching closer to her final target. How is she in various relationship roles? A Piscean female can be an extremely devoted wife or girlfriend, but given her emotional temperament, she can get easily swayed and tempted into doing an occasional adventurous or crazy thing. But she will make her man feel wanted and adored. You will never lack appreciation after marrying a Piscean girl. The best part about her is that although she's feminine, she's not a feminist, at least not in terms of trying to wear the pants at home. She will let her man be in charge, while she goes about creating a wonderful house for him and the family. And the best way to keep up her spirit is by being gallant towards her. Remember, she married you because you're protective and caring, and also gentlemanly. Don't disillusion her on this front, and you'll have the most charming and docile wife. She's an equally efficient mother who likes to pamper her children, so teaching discipline is something that's out of her range. Friendship is a word she loves. A Piscean woman holds her friends very close to her heart. Being a good listener and a sympathetic person, she easily identifies with the deep emotions of her friends. But being a family person, you're likely to find her best friends to be her siblings or cousins. How is she when alone? Though she may end up spending a lot of time alone, the Piscean woman craves company, especially when in love. When in a relationship, she seeks out quality time with her partner, though she won't state it openly. Left to herself, she would probably utilize her time reading books, indulging in some creative activity, or just sitting and dreaming about what more she could accomplish and add that to her list. How is a Piscean woman in love? Having said everything about her desires for materialistic fulfillment, I would like to add that a Piscean woman is a romantic at heart. She wants a man who can love and cherish her, and most importantly protect her. This is true of the emotional kind of Pisceans, who are generally afraid of being hurt by others. She likes love to grow upon her. Her idea of romance is a gradual progress of things. Make sure your courtship period is as per her standards, or she will turn on her heel and disappear. Another reason for this is her innate shyness about love. When you whisper sweet nothings into her ears, while wooing her for love, make sure you mean every word you say. Merely quoting Shakespeare really ain't gonna help. A Piscean woman has the ability to see through deceit and fake charms. Since she's totally feminine and emotionally dependent on her man, she makes him feel important, an ego uplift undoubtedly. The warmth and dependability of her personality will ensure that she's at your side through all times good and bad. But these traits are seen only in the sensitive kind of Pisceans. With the other kind, a relationship has to be a fine balance of love and material pleasure. Don't be surprised if you see a change in her attitude post the transition from being a girlfriend to being a wife. Although she will retain her charm, she will show what a nag she is every now and then. When angry, her words are laced with heavy sarcasm. I would also like to add that she's not the kind to dominate her man, nor does she like being dominated. The easiest way to deal with her is to reason with her with utmost subtlety, and be sure it'll work like magic. If you're truly in love with the Piscean girl, you may have to penetrate the few masks that she wears to cover her inner self. Especially in case of the materialistic kind, you will find her being a hardcore feminist, independent and career-minded. However, she's not all that strong. That's just a facade to fool you and protect her vulnerability. Once she's convinced of you and your love, she will open up and show her femininity in its true colors. Just get this straight. A Piscean girl will hide from you her emotions, her sensitivity, her femininity, and her vulnerability to avoid being ridiculed or hurt. Prove your love and understanding for her, and she will blossom in your arms like a violet, tender yet endearing. And always remember, a Piscean girl is first and foremost a romantic at heart. Everything else is just by the way. What does she look for in her partner? Being extremely sensitive herself, the Piscean woman seeks a partner who reciprocates in the same way, in a gentle manner, but with complete abandon. She yearns for a man who understands her emotional needs above all else, and at the same time takes care of all her material needs too. Being aggressive achievers, most Piscean women would settle for men who are already well established and financially stable. While dating her, you should be extremely slow and steady and caring and understanding and sophisticated. And that's just for starters. A Piscean girl will expect the world from you while dating. Not only in terms of money spent, but the way you deal with her when it comes to dating will decide the fate of your relationship. Let's begin with the first step. I'm yet to meet a Piscean who agreed to date a man after the very first encounter with him. Love at first sight is not for her. Infatuation maybe, but love, nah. She will take each day as it comes and will proceed in a gradual way towards love. Ever cautious and secretive, she will take you completely by surprise when she agrees to date you. You'll have to be at your elegant best to impress her on your date. Remember how fashion conscious she is about clothes and accessories? Add to that her penchant for gentlemanly behavior. All these attributes have to clearly reflect in your behavior while dating her. Piscean girls also appreciate good humor. They are ready for a good-hearted laugh anytime. You should also be considerate towards her feelings and show a deeper sense of understanding. Since a Piscean is fragile in her sensibilities, it is important to be attentive to her needs. Don't probe too much into her private life or inner thoughts. She dislikes unwanted intrusion upon her privacy. She will open up to you once she is totally convinced. But whatever you do, be subtle. She will enjoy all those rides in your flashy car, but the first instance she hears you boasting of its price, she might be walking out on you. Make a seamless transition from friendship to dating and from dating to courtship. She would enjoy being cajoled and courted. Dating has to be a gradual process, one in which you both could get to know each other. And she will cherish the intimacy that follows for her entire lifetime. If you're planning on buying her gifts for a date, stick to the regular girly stuff. She loves clothes, accessories, poetry books, and music CDs. The fine print here is, the more expensive the gifts are, the more impressed she could be. And while you're making all these adjustments to suit Miss Pisces, what should you expect from her? Loads. Lots of womanly charm, affection, warmth, and above all, genuine friendship. Your Piscean date will be your best possible friend once you hit it off with her. She will also let you lead the way with everything, right from deciding what to order at a restaurant to your wedding preparations. She's a complete woman, one that every man dreams of. Let me put what's in it for you in a nutshell. When a Piscean woman starts conversing, you will find yourself unwinding and relaxing under her gentle influence. Could you ask for more? Compatibility quotient. Here's a brief summary of the compatibility ratio between Pisces women and men of the other zodiac signs. Given the two kinds of Pisces women, as well as two kinds of men under the other signs, these observations are subjective. While there might be exceptions, the compatibility quotient mentioned here is by and large applicable to all. Pisces woman and Aries man. 7 on 10. With Aries men and Pisces women, it's rather hard to say which way the relationship will go. It all depends on the Arian's capacity to be subtle and give her space, and the Piscean's ability to cope with his dominance. On the romance and passion front, they may score a 9 on 10 as they are a perfect match. On general compatibility, they can either be a good match or a disaster because of their egos. Taurus man, 9 on 10. This combination can hit the bull's eye. The Piscean vulnerability and volatility will be balanced by the Taurian practicality and steadfastness. The Taurus man can be quite a charmer and a romantic, and that can keep them glued forever. Gemini man, 4 on 10. Both of them would need to be madly in love and eager to adjust in order to make this relationship work. The Gemini's penchant for change will keep the Piscean on edge, while his emotional fickleness can play havoc on her sensibility. Cancer man, 9 on 10. A romantic alliance, the Cancer man will be able to fulfill the Piscean's need for everlasting love. He has the capacity to shower her with care, attention, and understanding, while the Piscean can be her true romantic self with the Cancer male. All in all, great chemistry. Leo man, 8 on 10. The Piscean is the necessary feminine presence in the lion's life. She would give him a good home, and he'll be allowed to rule as he pleases. If he's able to keep his anger and unruly tongue in check, this duo can go places. Virgo man, 6 on 10. The barely emotional and self-centered Virgo man is a complete mismatch for the sensitive Piscean. She will never be able to accept and cope up with his neglectful attitude, and any relationship between these two is likely to result in a disaster unless the Virgo male is more grounded in terms of relationship management and also happens to be a romantic. Libra man, 6 on 10. This may seem a great combination to begin with, but once the romance wears out, the relationship will prove to be very demanding. Both of them would need to look beyond themselves to make their love long-lasting. Scorpio man, 9 on 10. Bring it on. A Scorpio man can strike an instant bond with a Piscean girl. Both are capable of meeting each other on the same emotional level. Of course, the Scorpion will have to keep his possessiveness in check. Apart from that, everything will be hunky-dory in this relationship. Sagittarius man, 5 on 10. Not easy, not comfortable, not possible. This is how either of them would react if the relationship is stretched too long. Although they may hit off on the first date, the chasm between dreamland, Pisces, and reality, Sagittarius, is too gaping to be ignored. But the practical, easygoing, and submissive Pisces woman might score higher, 8 on 10. Capricorn man, 9 on 10. Almost felt like giving a 10 here. This is a perfect recipe for a long-lasting relationship. He's the man for her, strong, capable, and caring, while she's the woman for him, one who lets him dominate. If he keeps his flirtatiousness under control, this relationship is for keeps. Aquarius man, 5 on 10. Here again is a case of opposites. Although opposites attract, they seldom stick together for long. His thinking mind will find her an emotional muddle, and her femininity will be crushed under his grossly liberal thinking. Pisces man, 9 on 10. Since both the Pisces man and woman have so much in common, they make for a great match. Of course, the catch here is that they will have to combat their weaknesses to make their relationship a success. Famous Pisces women personalities: Cindy Crawford, Elizabeth Taylor, Sharon Stone, Drew Barrymore, Eva Mendes, Dharti Desai.